I think people should know Ramsey Clark is a former attorney general.
He is the person who asked Lynne Stewart to take the Shakes case in the first place. And to my shame, I said at that moment, I was there, don't do it, Lynne, because it's very dangerous. And then I thought of it. I says, well, the black movement was very dangerous also. And women's rights was very dangerous also. And welfare mothers' rights were very dangerous. And I never said anything. And so how could I suddenly say to Lynne, don't do it because, it's going to be dangerous? Well, it was my instinct and then my knowledge of the history of racism in America and where the world was going, what was happening in the Middle East. I knew then, as we all know now, very dangerous, but I'm proud of Lynne that she took that case. And this is one of the reasons why Ramsey has a great interest in it. Because one of the things that you have to understand, not only did they go after Lynne because of her work within our community, they went after Lynne while ignoring other attorneys who did the same thing on the same case and in other cases. In the Guantanamo situation, the detainees were given maps of the prison. They were given books of Amnesty International. They were given pictures of each other. They were given statements that each other had made. They defied court orders, and that was okay. Only when Sister Lynne did what other lawyers had done, they used selective prosecution and went after. And we always have to remember the Larry Davis case, the young man who defended himself, and Lynne defended him on the basis of self-defense and won. They will never forget that. But until we remember and say, if we don't have self-defense, all of our young people will be dead. And we have to stop saying how much are our young children worth. How much is the body worth? What's the lawsuit going to be worth? No, we have to say our children are worth defending and the defenders are worth defending. Right. And we have all of our defenders in jail, and we can't make our politicians do anything. And so not congressmen, not state senators, not presidents, or not attorney generals. They have done nothing for us, and we vote for them constantly. We must stop that. We must be the change we are looking to make, and we must show up in Washington in force, in full, with everybody to scare them, because that's the only time they act. And if we can't scare them, they will scare us as we bring our political prisoners home in boxes. They're dying with strokes, etc.
What can we do for...
in Washington. I am here. I am going to stay until I go to get Lynne out of prison or I go to take her out in a box. I want people to gather in Washington. I want to gather wherever they are and force their ministers, anyone, any organization, any institution that they respect and are part of, they have to force them to come out. I'm going to try to get all of the people in the Washington, D.C. area to start coming out and having the vigil with me every day until we build a mass movement. And just a mass of people. We talk about 100,000-man march or a million-man march or 1,000-woman or a million-woman march. We must have one now. And I'm beginning to organize that in Washington, D.C., and we must bring out the people en masse. And if not, we will go to a funeral, another funeral, and another one, and another one, and we can only look to ourselves to blame.
If a person, let's say I'm in California and I'm unable to, afford a ticket to come out there to the vigil and stand by your side, what could I do to help if I'm unable to get there? I mean, are there petitions? Is there phone numbers that we can call, like the White House switchboard? Yes. What can we do?
Yes, you have just named them all. The petitions are still there. We must continue signing the petitions by computer or by letter, sending them, and the folder has gone past 21,000 now, and with all of the names on it. And the 3 numbers to call are still there. The Department of Justice, the President, and Samuels. Call those numbers constantly. Have vigils in your community. We know those politicians answer only to money. But we have to begin threatening them that if they don't respond to us, and we must have a litmus test, we must forget their names election day. Let them go home. And so all of the things that we have talked about, continue doing, but also continue upping the ante with your local politician. We had one of the senators from Minneapolis write a letter and then rewrite the letter and show it to all of us in the progressive community what he has sent to the president. We must all, force our elected politicians, our ministers, and everyone else to write to Mr. Obama. We had Cornel West, we had Tavis Smiley, all of the people saying, well, we must hold Obama's feet to the fire. Noam Chomsky. Well, let's start building the bonfire, my friends. They're still saying they have to support him, but they're not building a bonfire. Now, we know Obama has made these statements, and now we have to begin talking about our so-called representatives making misstatements. And I'm talking about the progressive community, those names that I named, Cornel West. I want to see him here standing beside me in Washington, D.C., as Dick Gregory did this past week. I want to see Tavis Smiley standing beside me in Washington, as other people are. We have to up this ante, or they should either just stay quiet when there's a political issue, because they are not doing what they say they're going to do.
The website for people to go to, correct me if I get a wrong one, but is it lynnstewart.org?
That's the one, lynnstewart.org. And you can sign on the petition electronically. Just the buttons come up, you push the button, and boom, another petition goes to the president and many bureaus.
I also wanted to tell people that they can go directly to whitehouse.gov, okay, or you can Google White House contact or White House switchboard, as I just have done. And I'm going to give you the phone numbers. It says write or call the White House. President Obama is committed to creating the most open and accessible administration in American history. I won't comment on that, but I will give you some phone numbers. And a couple of the phone numbers you can call for comments, 202-456-1111. That's 202-456-1111. The switchboard, I guess somebody will answer, and you can ask them to speak to the president, 202-456-1414. Again, let me get that number again, 202-456-1414. There's also a link for them to email them via the web. Again, I'm on whitehouse.gov. Just do a Google search or Yahoo search for a White House switchboard or White House contact. And if you want to write a letter, the address is put in the White House, President Obama, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, NW for Northwest. That's 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, NW, Washington, D.C., 20500. That let me give it to you again. Okay, the White House, care of President Obama, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, NW, Washington, D.C., 20500. So those are things that you can do right now. After the program, I'm going to call both of these lines, okay, the comments and the switchboard, and I'm going to, I'm not going to ask, I'm not going to beg, I'm not going to plead, but I'm going to demand that President Obama do the humane thing to do and grant this woman her compassionate release and to stop playing the games, okay? I'm not going to be nasty. I'm not going to cuss him out or anything like that, but I will speak in a firm tone that this is not right, that this is inhumane, that, this is just, what kind of person are you? That you will continue to hold this woman and keep her from her family when you know that she is gravely and probably terminally ill. Okay, so Brother Pointer, anything else that you want to get out there?
I thank you so much, and if you could repeat that message when I'm not here to your listeners, just as you did, because I think that covers it all. And remember, we must force those who had supported Obama to come out and stand with me in front of that White House. And I'm including Tavis Smiley, Cornel West, Oprah Winfrey. I want them all out there whenever they have time. All of you people who support these actors and the commentators who supported Obama, to tell him, begin to support us. Give us a sign. The sign would be them standing with all of us in front of that White House to let Obama know we are for real. We want a sign of goodwill that has not been coming forth from him towards the people who are responsible for his election. So thank you, sir. And I know you will continue to work for all of our political prisoners and to make those who, the institutions we go to, the churches, the schools, we must make them respond positively to our needs. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome, Mr. Pointer. And my prayers is with you and Lynne Stewart, and we're going to be in agreement that they're going to release her.